Hey, Chris Liepe here with how to sing better without trying so hard to sing better. What do I mean by that? Well, I coach a lot of singers, and I do a fair amount of private coaching. And generally, the first time I see someone, they've got this laundry list of things that they can't do, or that they don't think they can do, or that they can sort of do that they want to do better. And they're rattling off techniques. Some of these techniques may be, I want to sing with distortion. I want to sing better without getting tired. I want to not strain while I'm singing. I want to sing higher. I want to have a better understanding of how to use my support. They focus on all of the technical aspects of singing because they think that they need to get all of these technical things down before they can truly have the voice that they want to have. And one of the first things I say to this laundry list self-improvement approach is, when was the last time you really emotionally connected with something that you sang or performed? Not when was the last time that you sang something well or that you liked, or sang something and were critical of it. When was the last time you truly emotionally connected, maybe even spiritually connected, with something that you sang? And many of them have to think about it. They can't answer the question right away. Some of them can't answer it at all, because singing has been this clinical pursuit, not a creative and connected pursuit. I got to thinking about it, and what if someone asked me that question? Well, this isn't the last time I felt really emotionally connected, but it is one of the biggest, hands down, times that I have felt the most emotionally connected to a song. It's a song that I'm going to share with you today, and I'm going to talk through how the mentality of really diving in to a song and resonating with it on a very human level will help you connect things that you've been working on from a technical standpoint with your voice without you having to even think about it. If you've spent time with muscle memory, working on certain techniques, and you've gotten some sensations down, support, singing higher, stuff like that, but you're frustrated that you can't really do it, you can't do some of these techniques in a creative way, the best thing you can do is sort of throw it all out the window or put a pin in it, because your body remembers things that your mind doesn't necessarily have to think about, more than you know. The best thing you can do is cast this stuff partially aside and really dive in to a project, really dive into a song. A few years ago, I was hired to write this song. This lady had just taken her mom into an assisted living situation, and this mom was quickly losing quality of life from dementia. She wrote a song, or a poem, just a poem, for her mom. And this poem was telling her mom, who couldn't really even fully recognize her anymore, don't worry, I'll keep these memories. Even if you can't remember, I'll keep them and I'll pass them on. And it was this extremely emotional poem. And after her mom passed, she had this poem, and she sent it to me, and she said, I'd like you to write a song. Here's the general vibe I'm thinking, but you write a song, you come up with the music, you play it, you sing it, and I'd love to honor my mom in this way. And she didn't know this. I don't know this lady. I don't know Judy at all, really. But when she sent me these lyrics, or this poem, I was just sort of reeling from my grandma dying from dementia. As a matter of fact, 3 of my 4 grandparents died with some form of dementia. And I read this thing and I started, finger picking a little bit on the guitar and humming some of and I lost it. It was so close to home, seeing my parents go through, seeing their strong mom or dad, their quality of life just going south so fast, and memory and all these things not working, and then realizing that there's a chance that I'm going to have to deal with that with my own parents and my connection to my grandparents. And anyway, I started reading the words to this, and these words became my words. And I wrote the song, and I sang the song, and it was one of the easiest things that I've done from a technical or musical standpoint, one of the harder things to do from an emotional standpoint. But what came out, and you guys may have heard the parts of this song. I've included it in little bits of some other YouTube videos. You're going to hear it in its entirety, and I've left a link below so that you can hear it without interruptions. If you want to sing better without trying, find something that resonates with you. Write something that resonates with you. And wear your emotions in the performance. I hope you'll enjoy listening through to this song with me. I'm going to stop now and again and comment on various aspects of my performance, but it's not going to be in the usual way that I comment. But be having this in your mind. You want to sing better without trying so hard, without feeling like it's a boot camp every day while you're practicing? Do this. Put yourself in a creative position to do something that really emotionally connects to your soul. Here it is, Hold the Memory, Song for Judy.
Youth is wasted, so some say. Young souls racing through their days. So many words get tucked away in our haste to find a way to reinvent every wheel. Sometimes we do, and sometimes we fail.
There is a link in the description that will allow you to listen to this song all the way through, no interruptions. This was not tracked all in one take, this vocal, but it was mostly one take. It was one main take, and then I went back and did just a couple punches to fix some ugly notes here and there. And you can hear it. You can hear that there's imperfection, that there's a couple pitches and timing things that are not perfect. But there's this sense of rawness and true passion that you just can't get when you comp vocals together. Also, the posture of my voice here is very, very calm and contemplative, as I was feeling. Not as I wanted it to sound, but as I was feeling, as I've connected to the lyrics. Connecting to the lyrics and then singing how you feel as opposed to singing how you want it to sound. It's a subtle mind shift, but it is a huge mind shift.
As we grow old, we pack it tight. Love and joy, pangs of regret. Our mind is full of all these things, of who we are and where we've been. that we've heard and the things that we've seen written in our memory.
Now here,
of who we are and where we've been.
who we are and where we've been. You could do what I normally do here and analyze, oh, yeah, I went up into my head voice here.
Of who we are and
Who we are, head voice, and where we've been, and went back into it. And that's true. That's what I'm doing. And I can do that and call that into expression with my voice because I've practiced things like that. But in this moment, I'm not thinking about doing that. Who we are and where we've been. I lost a bit of control in my voice. I remember this vividly, singing this part. I lost a bit of control because of the emotions that I was feeling. Who we are, where we've been. There may be a time that I don't remember where I've been and who we are. How will I be feeling? What will I be? It's these kinds of things that when you capture them, they mean more than any amount of redoing things over and over again to get the perfect take.
of who we are and where we've been. Things that we've heard and things that we've seen written in our memory.
Pitch wasn't there.
Oh, let me be, let me be the one who holds the memory and guards the treasures of the mind. All that took so long to find. Once again, let them return. Lessons learned from bridges burned.
There's a very large dynamic arc that happens here. And
Oh, let me.
with this chorus, it's almost as though I'm reading the poem, and the rhythm, the pulling time is absolutely not intentional. It is, I had played, I tracked the acoustic guitar separate from the voice, and I remember when I was mouthing the words to the guitar, as I was laying those down before I recorded the voice, what I was doing was much more rhythmic. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, let me be the one who holds the memory, because I was playing the guitar and I was trying to make sure that I got the measures right and the chord changes at the right time, because I'm not singing and playing this at the same time. And I remember starting to perform this take before I'd really gotten into the mindset of the character or the performance that I was going to have, and being a bit rote and rhythmic with it. And it wasn't there. It needed to be something that I'm holding the poem in my hand and I'm stream of consciousness begging my mom, who cannot hardly recognize me, to let me hold her memories.
Oh, let me be, let me be the one who holds the memory and guards the treasures of the mind. All that took so long to find. Once again, let them return. Lessons learned from bridges burned.
And you can hear proximity mistakes, let me be the one, where I'm backing up too much, and I'm clearly not working the mic well here. but it just doesn't matter. I think so many times when we're trying to sing better or record better or do things, we think about, step up to the mic right, dial things in right, get things set up, use a good technique. I mean, all these things. It's actually the best vocal performances are the ones where that stuff is not being thought about at all. It's thought about at some point when you're setting up your studio or when you're choosing your mic or when you're writing the song. But when you're performing or when you're making that take,
as I watch you slip away, a lady loved and full of grace, you made memories day by day of precious souls along the way. You taught us our faith, you taught us to love, you taught us hope comes from above.
As I watch you slip away, listen to how it sounds like something's slipping away.
As I watch you slip away,
the shape of that note. Slip away. Where more and more breath comes in and less note. There's something symbolic about that. Connecting the words with your voice creatively like this is huge for creating meaningful and good performances and just practicing this kind of thing with your voice. Not what words are you singing and how can you sing them, so much as can the words infiltrate the texture of your voice? Can the meaning of the words infiltrate the texture of your voice? Not just the vowels and stuff like that, but the meaning of the phrase. And this next chorus, listen to how the phrasing is different. It's, again, another sort of stream of consciousness thing.
oh, let me be, let me be the one who holds the memory and guards the treasures of the mind. All that took so long to find, once again let them return. Lessons learned from bridges burned.
You know, and listening back to this, it's been a while since I've listened to it all the way through.
And guards the treasures of the mind. All that took so long to find.
Those are hard phrases. You know, we're treasures of the mind. That's your treasures of the mind. The way that those vowels and consonants and the air interruptions and all that stuff works. Oh, that took so long to find. And then going from this belted mixed voice sort of thing into this head voice, this is technical stuff. And I'm the first to admit on every other YouTube video I do that if you don't have foundations and you haven't practiced these muscle memory things, you can't emote the way you want to. So I want to stress that it's not that you don't work on that stuff and you don't try to get better with technique. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that tons of vocalists that I've worked with personally get to the point where they feel like they have the techniques, but their voice still doesn't sound the way they want it to sound. Or they feel like they're working on those techniques. Or they feel like they've got them sometimes. There's no better way to get better without trying than to go into this level of introspection and involvement with your creativity.
So many years and life gone by, precious memories laid away, oh so deep in your mind, waiting there again to find, but now they seem to fade away a little more every day.
Pointing out a couple things on this verse. I was very disciplined in preserving the original flow of the poem. I did not change the poem to suit any sort of restrained, more song palatable kind of thing. And that initially was challenging when writing it, but when you are forced to work within restraints, new bits of creativity and happy accidents come out in ways that feel more genuine, because they are. You're not trying to pare it down to be more palatable. You're going, well, this is what I have to work with. Let me connect with it. Very, very different state of mind. And I mean, songs that I love are like that. They're less, I've done it this way, and more, oh, wow, that was different. That was unique and experimental. And then also, you'll hear throughout this, there are some pitch problems. There are some dipped notes and notes where I am under pitch and then I come up. It's important when you're doing, and you're listening to your voice and you're making recordings and you're writing, that you do not have perfection on the brain. Leave certain things in. Leave certain pitch problems in. Leave certain snorts. Leave certain timing things that, if they are emoting, but they're not perfect, they're better than perfect. But if you have to be perfect, you're going to get rid of those better than perfect moments.
Oh, let me be, let me be the one who holds the memory and guards the treasures of the mind. All that took so long to find, once again let them return. Lessons learned from bridges burned. Oh, let me keep your memories precious and sweet in my mind. All you've passed along to me. As time goes by, may I still find. Let me be. Oh, let me be the one who holds the memory. Oh, let me be the one who holds the memory.
There was an awful lot of whispering and contemplation, particularly toward the end here. When I made the recording, initially, in this section, listen without the vocals. I did this thing rhythmically here. Let me be. And I really liked what I did vocally. And listened back to it over and over again, feeling like, I hate this drum machine in there. And I tried to go in and play some percussion, because this is just a loop that I put in and ended up leaving in a subtle way. And I wanted there to be this like, dun, dun, dun. I wanted the drums to follow. But when I recorded this, I didn't have access to a drummer that would play like this, that would do it in the time frame I needed it, and so I ended up just leaving this. But I felt so strongly about the way that I'd performed the end of this that I just decided to leave it. And I bet if I hadn't said anything about it, nobody would have even went, oh, the rest of the band doesn't follow that rhythm. It's fine. And I think the lesson here is, and you hear this in other songs too, not every instrument, not every part needs to be thought out and planned out. A lot of it, you can let inspiration happen and then let it be. Let it be. Don't overthink. Yeah, it might not be ideal, but if you really connected with something that you did, don't care what other people think. Let it be. Again, if you would like to hear this in its entirety without interruptions, I've left a link in the video description to an unlisted YouTube video that is just the song playing. So you can listen to it start to finish. I'd love to know your comments on this approach, on this mindset specifically, how to sing better without trying so hard to sing better, and what that means to you, and if you've ever had an experience like this.